Good morning, Facebook. Hello, Facebook. Going live October 19th, Tuesday, October 19th, about 8:26 in the morning. All right, I'm officially live now. Good morning, everybody in Facebook land. Marcus here from Aroma Time. It is the 19th of October. It is 8:26 in the morning. I just got out of the kitchen. I've been in the kitchen for the last like 2, 3 hours, almost 3 hours actually. I've been in the kitchen. I've been in the kitchen a long time this morning. A little before 6 a.m. I got in there. We have two weddings coming up this weekend and some other catering jobs and a party tomorrow night. And we are packed last night. So I like to get in the kitchen early in the morning and get a jump start on things and get some things done for the kitchen staff. So okay. Jamie's saying no sound. I usually do a sound check, and I didn't do one today. Oh, here's my sound. I have sound. So if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Drop a thumbs up if you can hear me. Jamie said there is no sound, but I have sound on my end. Yep, I do have sound. So I'm not sure. Um, Jamie is saying no sound. Huh, interesting. But I have sound. Anybody else? Can anybody else hear me? Can anybody else hear me out there? Got a couple people on. So, again, Jamie, I have sound. So I don't know why your phone's not showing sound. And get some things done for the kitchen staff. So, I do have sound. Okay, Billy says I can hear you. Okay, thank you, Billy. Appreciate that. All right, so awesome. So, yeah, so I was in the kitchen early this morning getting some stuff done. Lots and lots of catering this week. Busy, busy last night. Last night we were packed. Every table was filled last night. It was really awesome. Went to bed early. It was a long weekend. Monday nights, Jamie and I are exhausted. It's Monday nights is literally our weekend because we're closed Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We still work Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but we're closed. It's not like we have to open up the doors. This Wednesday we have a party, Girls and Boys Club. It's a fundraiser. So that's a great event this Wednesday night here at the restaurant. So if you want to support the Boys and Girls Club, go to our website. You can buy tickets online. I think they're $50, the tickets, and it's a wine and cheese and charcuterie event for the Boys and Girls Club. I think we're going to be doing it out in the garden, but if the weather's not permitting, we'll be inside. So that's the story with that. Just posted a post on our Facebook here, picture of since I was up early this morning and outside. I had the smoker on this morning before the sun came up. So I was out there in the dark lighting the smoker. So as I'm loading the pork loins in there and some ribeyes, the sun's coming up. I'm like, oh, picture. This is a great picture. So I took a great picture of the smoker this morning. And on our feed here, on our wall, on our fan page here, the pictures are there. If you comment what you'd like us to put in the smoker next, you can get a chance to win a $25 gift card. Now, the easy thing about this is you don't need to be right what's in the smoker because I just told you pork loin and ribeyes are in the smoker. All you have to do is say, what would you like us to smoke next? What would you like us to see smoked on our menu? And then we have this program that randomly picks a winner, and we'll do that on Friday. So good morning, everybody tuning in. So do that on Friday. So go there and drop some comments now. And then we also have another contest going on to win an Aroma Time hat. Do I have an Aroma Time hat handy? Yeah, right there is an Aroma Time hat with the Made in America sign on it. So if you go on our Facebook from a couple days ago and comment on your favorite candy, Halloween candy, you get a chance to win an American-made Aroma Time hat. So we have these for sale. They're $30. So and they cost us a lot. They cost like 5, 6 times the price of a regular hat from China. And the good news is these aren't stuck on a cargo ship. We can get these anytime. So, good morning, everybody tuning in. Hi, Judith. Hi, Mary. Hi, Jennifer. And of course, Billy. And Mary, I'm going to text you guys later. I need an oil change. So if we can set that up this week, if you're still listening, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. Let's see. So some fun facts about eggs. Did you get sound over, Jamie?
Nope.
No, you don't have sound? Reboot your phone, maybe. Everybody else can hear me, so... all right. So some fun facts about eggs. Eggs are a very popular food because they're inexpensive, they're readily available, and they're easy to cook. They literally cook in within what, a minute. You can crack an egg and scramble it, and a minute later you have an egg. So eggs are very, very, very versatile. So, and you bake with them. You do a lot of things with eggs. You do much more than just like eat a scrambled egg or a poached egg. Eggs are one of those things that has other purposes in them. They actually emulsify mayonnaise. So if you're making mayonnaise or dressings, mayonnaise it acts as an emulsifier. You can make sauces like hollandaise, which means it's an emulsifier. It's also a leavener, so it leavens items. So if you put it into cakes or pancakes, things like that, it helps leaven it. It also is a binder. It helps bind foods. So when it cooks and coagulates the proteins, they actually bind food together. So if you want to do an experiment, you can make like pancakes with and without eggs, and you'll see the actual binding power, the leavening power that the eggs actually have in them. But that's not the facts I'm going to talk about, the cool facts about eggs. There's some other, a lot of really other cool things about eggs that are really cool. So, for example, the yolk and the whites have the same amount of protein. Same amount of protein. Of course, different cholesterol levels, but the same amount of protein. Um, Cage-free eggs. If the box says cage-free on it, it can still come. It can the chicken can still live in a cage. Oxymoron, whatever you want to call it. A lot of influence from big egg producers to get this passed by the USDA, right, and to write the laws specifically to meet their benefit. But you can actually go to the store and buy. Someone says cage-free eggs, and the chickens still come from a cage. They have to have a minimum of 120 square inches per bird. 120 square inches a bird, and you can per bird, and you can call those eggs cage-free eggs if it has more a minimum of 120 square inches per bird. Is that insane or what? 120 square inches. You can still call it, if it's in a cage, it's 120 square inches or more. It's still called a cage-free egg, folks. So you actually get what you pay for in eggs, which is going to be the point of this whole thing. So eggs come in all different colors, by the way, too, which is really cool. But the blue eggs are the least appealing of all the eggs, and those are laid by the Araucana hens, which my daughter had Araucanas and used to buy Araucanas from Rusty Plow. The thickness of an eggshell will actually depend upon the age of the chicken. Older hens do lay thicker shells. The eggshell colors, and some can be polka dotted and all kinds of different colors. The eggshell color, including brown eggs, have no correlation on the nutritional value or nutritional differences versus a white egg. And I know growing up as a kid, my mom would buy brown eggs because we thought those were better, and there's no advantage to the brown eggs, not at all. Um, so, chicken earlobes, I guess, can predict what color the eggs what eggs they lay. Something with the chicken earlobes. Um, Free range. So now first we had cage free. Now the term free range is also another term they use for chickens. Free range may never step a foot outside. They may be inside in a barn with a roof, even on a concrete slab, but because they have a certain amount of room to run around, they can actually be labeled as free range. So cage free and free range are two very, very huge misleading steps in there in terminology. You can check an egg's age by the buoyancy of an egg. Egg shells are permeable, which is why they're prone to bacteria. So egg shells are actually permeable. There's tiny, tiny holes throughout the whole eggshell. And if an egg floats, a whole egg floats or has more buoyancy, it's actually an older egg, because what's happening is the oxygen, the air inside is, or the air is getting inside, and the egg itself is actually evaporating. So it replaces the evaporated section of the egg inside with, indeed, air gap. So that air gap will create the buoyancy in eggs. So we all know that when you hard boil an egg and you peel it, some eggs actually have at the end a little pocket where the air was. So that will actually indicate how old, or the age of an egg. Eggs do go by grading: double A, single A, grade B. Grade B eggs you'll never find in the store because those are the ones with imperfections, thin whites, blood spots. These eggs all go into commercial products. So for big companies that are baking, they buy grade B eggs all the time. If you're going to buy like a farm stand and or a local store and they're baking right there, they're usually actually using grade A eggs, the eggs that they're buying from the distributor. But as far as commercial these big bakeries, they're all buying grade B eggs, which will never ever ever make it into the stores. Um, Here's an interesting one. Um, Eggs don't raise cholesterol. This is a very interesting one. Now, I've actually looked more up on that study that was done, that the study that they quote on here. So, and this is this is really tricky. So, um, if you're eating 10 eggs a week, and you increase your eggs by two, which means you've increased egg consumption by 20%, the studies will show that your cholesterol will not be raised significantly or won't be raised at all or whatever, it stays the same. But you already have 10 eggs that you're eating. So the studies really don't conclude out there that if somebody's eating 0 eggs and they go to eating 2 eggs a day, there's not really any hardcore studies on that. So when you see these studies and your doctor says, oh, look, cholesterol is not raised by eating eggs, they're quoting studies that the person's already eating so many eggs, the group's already eating so many eggs, and by additionally adding 2, 3, 4 eggs a week, there's not much of a difference because it's already had the difference. So it's a little bit of statistics and numbers. Eggs are one of the very few food sources of vitamin D. And eggs being refrigerated, you know, this is a thing that people always ask. They always ask me, should I refrigerate eggs? Do you refrigerate eggs? Like keep them at room temperature. Eggs will age room temperature versus refrigerated. One day at room temperature is the equivalent of 7 days in the refrigerator. Now, whatever you start out with is what you need to keep. But also, like I said in the beginning, eggs are prone to bacteria. So it might just be a good idea just to keep your eggs in the refrigerator because of bacteria to begin with. So now here's the point I want to make on eggs. Here's the overall point. We talked about cage-free and we talked about free range. Cage-free eggs, they need 120 square inches per cage to be considered cage-free, which we all know that's just nonsense. That's garbage. That's just big corporations coming in and dictating to the USDA what they want their standards to be by getting one of their big industry members onto the USDA board and doing all that kind of stuff and politics as usual. Same thing with free range. So when you walk into a store and you look at this cage free versus this cage free egg, and this free range egg versus this free range egg, and this organic egg versus this organic egg, the price as the egg goes up per dozen. So maybe we're starting at $3, $4, $5, $6. The eggs we just bought this week are $6.50 a dozen from one of the local farms that we got. So when you look at that in the stores, that would be I don't know, an $8 dozen egg, and we're happy to pay for that because here is the deal on what you're getting for when you pay for an egg. The higher the price of the egg, this is one of the foods that it's a direct correlation with the price per dozen. As the price goes up, typically, as the price goes up, what you're paying for is a better quality of life for the actual chickens that lay the eggs. There's a direct correlation with that, and that's the story. The more you pay, you're paying for the better quality of life for the hens to lay eggs in. Their environment is what you're paying for. Because as we know, some of these terms are complete scams and very misleading and are not true to begin with. So 120 square inches per cage per bird, is not really a cage-free egg. And free range, sitting inside of a barn, they can run around for only a certain amount of time. They don't even get to run around all day. They don't even need to run around all day, but to let them run around a certain amount of time is misleading in itself. So, if you're interested in buying high-quality food and you're interested in eggs, higher quality eggs, the higher the price you pay, the better off you are. Now, where does that? There is always an exception to the rule. So, if you're buying from your neighbor's chickens are running around the yard and they have a great life, and it's like, well, my neighbor only charges $3 a dozen. Why would I go pay $9 a dozen in the store? Of course, that is the difference, right? Your neighbor, yourself, your own eggs. A lot of people have their own chickens. People have kept asking us about our chickens, my daughter's chickens. We actually won in court to keep the chickens. So the judge allowed her to keep 10 chickens. And they're actually hopefully rewriting the zoning here in the town of Orsing to help promote or sort of fill in the gap how because the law was written poorly years ago to allow people on less than 3 acres to actually legally own chickens. No roosters though, but legally owned chickens. So we actually did win in court, and that was great. The neighbors still give problems and still do stupid stuff, but oh well. So yeah, of course. So if you're buying eggs from your neighbor and they're running around the yard, that is awesome. But if you're buying the eggs on a commercially produced level, this rule applies to commercially produced chicken eggs. So if you walk into the store, if you walk into Whole Foods, and you see eggs for $3 a dozen, and you see eggs for $9 a dozen, that gap in there is the direct correspondence with the quality of life that the hens have, the amount of room they have, the food they eat, the quality of life they have, all that kind of stuff is dictated by the price per dozen. So that's the story with that. And that is it, folks. It is, I got to get on some coaching calls here. It's Tuesday. Tuesdays is my education day where I have on the phone with my own coach, our business coach. That's later tonight. And then where I am online or on the phone all morning with our clients, coaching our clients. So, which I have a lot of fun doing that, working with all the restaurant owners from all over. Really have a lot of fun doing that. Love helping people. So, if anybody knows a restaurant owner that could use help, send them over to 50mistakes.com. 50mistakes.com, which is the name of my book there, 50 Mistakes That Business Owners Make. It's right there, 50 Mistakes That Business Owners Make. That has a website that corresponds with it, 50mistakes.com. And it's a lot of it. In a good portion of this is about every business. There's a certain section that actually talks about restaurants in here. There's like 4, 5, 6 chapters about restaurants, but any business can benefit from this book. So it's a lot of fun. Fun when I work with clients and marketing and all that kind of stuff. So that's my Tuesdays. That is my Tuesdays in a nutshell. I bought a new bike the other day, which I'm super excited about. A gravel bike. It looks like a road bike, but it has thicker tires, a little more durable, and it can go on gravel trails. Jamie has one already, so her and I are going to plan on hopefully getting a few more rides in before it gets cold this winter. Before it gets cold out, she won't ride in the cold. I don't mind riding in. I'll ride in 40 degrees. That's my kind of limit. What's your limit, Jamie? 70 degrees? 65? She's making faces at me. It's just not disgusting. I offered to buy you leg warmers yesterday.
No, thank you.
They came in handy yesterday, the leg warmers.
Thank you. I don't care. That is ridiculous. I'm not getting on a bike if it's 55 degrees outside.
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Have an amazing day, and we'll talk to you later.